Wendell Vaughn, the first Earthman ever created the protector of the universe, bonded to the energy-transforming quantum bands that were both weapons and symbols of his station. He fought an ongoing battle to defend all life in the universe from cosmic evil as Quasar.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Zone, Episode 5. I am Phil, and joining me, as always, is Will.
Hey, everyone.
And Matt.
Hey.
And, well, before we get into this episode's issue, I'll just go on record as saying, don't listen to me whenever I talk on this podcast about, this is what we're going to do next, because I came up with a big list.
Gigantic list, which is awesome.
I think counting the ones we already did, I think it was like 135 or something. So, yeah, as long as everyone's interested, we're here for a while. But yeah.
Well, I think there are 268 Quasar appearances in Marvel books, so we got some work.
Well, I was looking at one list, and there was like a big, massive list, but it was mentioning stuff because like I got some more back issues, and like I was going down this list, and like one of the issues was like Fantastic Four Annual 14 or something. Like Quasar's arm appears. There's like a big like group shot, and like you can see like an arm with a quantum band. That I guess that counts as an appearance.
Oh man!
But like no, like even like last issue, remember when Quasar was telling the Torch, "Oh, don't you remember me? I was at one of the Fantastic Four's Christmas parties." I got that issue. I got that issue. No, that wasn't it. No, it was Marvel 2-in-1 74. It was their big Christmas issue, but I think the party only lasted like 2 or 3 pages. And Quasar shows up. He's not in his suit. He's just like in a suit and tie, like dressed like normal. And I don't know if he talks to anyone, because like you really only see him for a couple panels, and I really didn't even see the Torch unless there was like I couldn't even tell if it was a man or woman, but some blonde standing next to who I think was Sue Richards. I'm guessing that's Johnny Storm, but so I don't know if they had any contacts, and maybe that's why Johnny doesn't remember him. But Will, you're big in the lore. Wendell shows up to the Christmas party, and he's like, "Oh, Ben," he's like, "Do you remember my fiance? Was it Jeannie or something?"
What happened to the fiance?
I know.
Never mentioned again.
Grunwald never brought that. I mean, and Grunwald I think wrote that issue too. I'm like, he never brought that up in the ongoing series.
Yep, I remember that now. I'm like, wait a minute.
Wasn't she like one of those scientists or something that worked at Project Pegasus?
Project Pegasus, I think so. And yeah, we've seen her twice? Once in Pegasus maybe, and then in that issue, and then never again. Yeah,
I mean, we'll get to the Project Pegasus stuff later on, but yeah, I'm like, it's Grunwald, that, one line, she died, we broke up, something, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So, it gets back to Earth, doesn't look her up, nothing.
That's true. Maybe she sent him a Dear John or Dear Wendell email while he was, going out through the cosmos.
That's why he was depressed.
Yeah, exactly.
Think about that. That's why he was all depressed. That's part of the reason he quit Project Pegasus. Not like, I failed all these times. No. You don't want to work where your ex works. Forgotten.
So you got a bunch of Quasar back issues, or you got a bunch of other appearances?
I got a bunch of the 2-in-1s. I'm not through them yet, but I bought a couple Dazzlers because supposedly he's in those.
Mm-hmm.
I did read the one because they then I think what is it, issue 9 of Dazzler? They bring her to Project Pegasus and he's there, and she's like, "Oh, he's all dreamy,"
Yeah.
But no, Matt, I was just telling Will offline. No, I've been looking. I've never read. I never had that Marvel Comics Presents 29, and I just like last week bought it off some guy off Amazon, and then today I see in the tracking data it's like oh, it's about to be delivered, and it's like in Connecticut. I'm like, I'm in Pennsylvania. That's not right. So I emailed the guy. I'm like, what's going on? And then after checking it, he's like, He goes, he's like, oh, I messed up your order. I'll refund your money. I'm like, well, that doesn't get me the issue.
No, that's no good.
So I'm going to have to jump on tonight and try to find it. Because like I was telling Will, nobody around here has it.
Yeah, I got an Amazon order. I got the After the Storm. I know we're looking way ahead, but I got Captain America 401 for 70 cents in shipping. So
nice.
Nice.
I know. After you saying that, and then making up the list, I was surprised. Like I had every part of Operation Galactic Storm except for like one issue. I missed like that middle Avengers one, like 346. Okay. For some reason, I didn't have it, so I picked that up.
So I'm looking at the Quasar Volume 1 or Quasar Classic that came out the trade, and it's got the Avengers story in it.
Oh.
And I think it has the Marvel Comics Presents. Yeah, it does. It has the Marvel Comics Presents story in it as well.
Oh, nice.
So if you just want to read them, you can get them in the trade, which is, hey, it's the only trade. It's the only collection we've got.
I should just buy the trade and just slab the issues or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's isn't there some stuff in there that was in just a Marvel magazine too? I forget. I think you might have been talking about it last time. That's in the trade.
They do.
I don't have it, but
they do the interview in the back. I think with Quasar by Howard Mackey. I think is interviewing Wendell, and then they have the science sections, I think, in there as well. Yeah, How Sweet the Moonlight,
nice.
Hyperspace, The Final Frontier, the Electromagnetic Spectrum. The ones that were in back of the letters pages early on.
Mm-hmm.
And then this actually does Quasar 1 through 9, story from Avengers Annual 18, and Marvel Comics Presents number 29. Came out in 2012.
Oh. And they never collected the rest of the issues.
No, I would think about it. 60 issues. Would that not be a killer omnibus?
Oh yeah.
Or 2 30-issue, 30 and 30. That would be. I would still buy that.
Exactly.
I might even save up and buy a copy for each of the boys.
Yeah.
The omnibuy or omnibuses, however you want to say that, are not cheap, but
oh no,
but it'd be worth it.
Oh yeah. But let's jump into this issue. So, like I said last episode, I was lying. I came up with a much bigger list. Avengers 302. I guess we're gonna have to explain what happened in Avengers 301.
Yes, this is part 2 of the Supernova saga. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like Will was pointing out before, this is an Avengers team with Reed and Sue Richards, Captain America, Thor, who basically was like the last Avenger standing and was like, okay, Jarvis, get me a new team. Then Captain America comes back in and builds the team, and Thor's like, okay, I'm back in.
Hey, I'm gonna set this one up for you.
Okay.
I think you're forgetting someone.
Oh, yes, the forgotten one, Gilgamesh.
But
Gilgamesh.
Nice.
Sorry, it was obvious. I had to go for it.
So it's like this was like a weird team. Like we were saying, like Reed and Sue were only on the team for like 4 or 5 issues or something.
Yeah, it was really
but it's like
short term.
So it's like Captain America, 2 members of the Fantastic Four, and then like 2 gods. It's like, why do you need Gilgamesh if you got Thor?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
And even the West Coast Avengers, they were West Coast Avengers at the time.
Yeah.
You had Tiger, Hawkeye, Dr. Pym, and Wonder Man. I don't see Iron Man. I don't think Iron Man shows up in this one, does he?
No.
Was it Rhodey at that point, or
no? I think Stark was back, but I think he was. Because like when they first in the West Coast miniseries, it was Rhodey. Then when they went ongoing, Tony Stark was back in the red and silver armor. Then he was gone for a while, and then when he came back, he was in the red and gold again. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is
I think the post Silver Centurion armor. I really love that armor. That
I think this is like, is this like right after Moon Knight left, maybe?
Oh yeah, after the Lost in Space Time arc.
Yeah.
West Coast Avengers, yeah.
And you know, Hawkeye and Mockingbird had their big fight. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, but the East Coast Avengers, the issue before this, I guess, went in space. I'm trying to remember, I haven't read it in a while, but they encounter Supernova, who's like, what, he has like the remaining, he's like the last remaining
all the Nova Force at this point. Yep.
Yeah, because all the Novas are gone, and Xandar is supposedly destroyed by Nebula. So Supernova's like, I know what I'll do. I'll destroy the Earth, and
exactly,
that'll get Nebula.
Yeah. I'll show her.
Because that's how the last Avengers team went down. Well, I guess it was supposed to be Nebula, and then they retconned that they're like, no, it's just somebody pretending to be Nebula.
Yeah.
The whole Dr. Druid thing.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And they had some brain-sucking leeches they had to contend with. I'm just flipping through it in 301. A lot of them.
Yeah. And like I said, basically at the end of that storyline, the team was like, you know, Thor's like basically last man standing, and he was like, oh, I got stuff to do in Asgard. I'll be, you know, bye, Jarvis. Turn out the light when you leave.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, all right. So Avengers 302, cover date, April 1989. This will be a little different because this is the first one we covered that hasn't been Mark Grunwald written issue.
That's right.
Yeah.
As we'll be able to tell. Yeah, Ralph Macchio. No, this guy does not know karate.
He probably has never heard that before, right?
I know. Rich Buckler, breakdowns, Tom Palmer, finishers. Again, breakdowns and finisher. What is that? Ken Lopez letterer, Paul Becton colorist. Hey, wasn't he in some of those Quasar issues?
Yeah, Paul Becton. He was the colorist of a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Mark Grunwald is here, editor and plot.
That's probably why Quasar is showing up.
Here's the story. I'll let you guys script it.
And Quasar's the cover boy.
Exactly.
I know, that's what we were saying. Look, front and center. Yeah, I think this was like the big introductory issue, right? Because like this supposedly, I mean, we're going through the timeline. This takes place after Quasar 3 we did last episode, but didn't this come out before the ongoing series?
Because
this came
there's
out,
one block where they say coming soon in a new limited series, or a new series per, not limited, but they refer to Quasar just got back from space. He's moving his stuff into the Fantastic Four office.
Yeah.
And it kind of teases his solo series. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so page 1, Supernova is headed for Earth. Vengeance is mine, because supposedly he blew up his ship and the East Coast Avengers with it.
Spoilers, though, they didn't die.
Yeah, I think you gotta figure that. Whose name's on the cover?
On the cover, exactly.
But no,
But
Supernova heads to
Chicago, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He heads for Chicago. I'm thinking they just pick like a halfway point between the East and West Coast
to bring both teams together. Yeah, I think that's probably right.
So then there's a big. Everyone sees him coming. There's big flashes in the sky. It's all over the news. Everyone's watching, but then at Four Freedoms Plaza, like Matt said, the newest tenant is moving in, and it says, for details, you have to check out a certain new monthly title coming your way soon.
How very cryptic.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, isn't it weird that the main conflict in this takes place in Chicago, but there are no Great Lakes Avengers to be found? The West Coast had to come over.
It's the timeline. I wonder if they.
Oh, it is, because they didn't. West Coast. I mean, the first appearance of the Great Lakes Avengers wasn't until July of '89.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe that's the reason they were formed.
There you go. Yep. It's been a while since I've read those issues, but I think they may even reference this in their first appearance.
Yeah, because I think Hawkeye was having issues because they brought U.S. Agent onto the team and the West Coast team, so then he was all mad and stormed off. And I think he started training. That's when he started training a new team, and it was the Great Lakes Avengers. But yeah, so Wendell's unpacking. He mentions Vaughn's security consultants. It's good to be back on Earth. It seems like a century ago since I was the head of Project Pegasus. So if you don't know, if you're a long-term fan, you're like, okay, I know this guy. It's getting unpacked. The quantum bands start to glow and become visible, because that's another trick, right? Will, invisibility, yeah.
Keeps them, bends light around them, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I guess you need that for secret identity, since they don't come off.
Unless he's dead, yeah.
Then he goes all Star Trek. Could have anything to do with my prime directive. Then he goes, better alert the boss, and he tells some glowing dot, "Hey, I'll be back."
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what the heck? It looks like a candle that's melting. I mean,
I guess they didn't want to. They didn't want to give away that big Eon reveal in issue 2.
Yeah, probably.
So then they have him changing, and he's like shouting his full name. It's time for Wendell Elvis Vaughn. Thank you very much.
The man called Quasar.
And he flies to Chicago. He's letting the bands guide him to the disruption. That's when Supernova lands in Chicago, starts blasting stuff. Surrender, Nebula, or perish.
Supernova is gigantic too. He's like,
yes, he is
King Kong.
He says, "Bring me Nebula, or I'll lay waste to this whole planet."
He does that with some fancy skywriting.
I know.
Yeah.
And then our security consultant shows up and says, "Hold it right there. Identify yourself and make no further hostile gestures."
But he does answer him. Who are you?
Yeah. Says, "I'm Supernova, only survivor of the planet Xandar. Do you know the woman Nebula?" Nebula? No, why?
A pity.
He does. Wendell Vaughn's.
What was that, Matt?
I said his authority is respected by Supernova because he complies. He identifies himself right away. And,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but the minute he says, "No, I don't know Nebula," he starts blasting.
Boom.
Scradoom. Some pretty awesome sound effects right there.
Hey, it's an alien ray blast. You don't know what it sounds like.
Exactly.
And that's when he tries to bubble up Supernova's hands, and we tell the newbies about his power. My quantum bands draw subatomic particles from some other dimensional quantum zone. Branding. I can focus them as light beams or create solid energy structures like these manacles that should hold.
And then the reaction for Supernova is just a frame of his face being like the meme, yeah, I bet you can.
Hold my beam.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he breaks free, says, "Do you grow tired, human?" But here's a question I was thinking about before. Will, back in the day, back in those two and Marvel 2-in-1 issues and stuff, Quasar was always like, I'm calling myself Quasar because my energy bands draw power from from Quasars. Yeah, I'm like, where did he get that info from?
I think his dad, if I remember right, his father theorized that their power source was quasars. So
okay.
Let's call yourself Quasar.
So Dad was wrong.
Dad was way wrong.
It sounds good. Let's see. So, I guess news copters trying to get the whole thing, and Quasar is struggling. You can see him sweating. I've reached the maximum. Haven't the strength to draw more power through the bands.
Yeah, I like to think that post Cosmos and Collision, Supernova would be, a 5-second. I'm gonna just take you somewhere, leave these people alone and be done with it, because he hasn't really reached anywhere close to, I think, his full potential yet.
Oh no. Because even I think wasn't Terminus bigger than this guy?
Oh yeah, I think so.
I want to mention one little thing. It's just, I mean, it's a happenstance because before we see the panel with the newscopter, the ad on the page next to it is a giant ad for Airwolf, a remote-controlled helicopter.
Yes.
If only they had an Airwolf, maybe the news in the aircopter would have fared better.
Exactly.
I wonder. I'm sure that isn't intentional, but I'm just like, oh, wonder if some ad exec was like, yeah, the kids can reenact this scene.
Well, and beneath the remote control helicopter, there are children playing. So it is kind of funny to think that they just had debris shattered upon them by supernova as a result of breaking the bands.
But like Matt says, supernova breaks the bands. Quasar gets thrown. He says, concussive force. Without the energy nimbus around me, I might have been blown apart. But the helicopter's going down. And again, I mean, why is Quasar like physically trying to grab the copter? Why is he like using a construct?
That is an excellent question.
Wouldn't it be easier? And two, wouldn't you have better leverage? Probably.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Grunwald didn't write this, so
It said he plotted it. So he's like, okay, guys, Quasar comes to Chicago and big supernova.
He gets the crap kicked out of him, and he saves a helicopter, and then the Avengers show up.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, Quasar sort of takes the next few pages off as we go over to the West Coast Avengers office and see what they're up to.
Well, yeah, because Supernova sends him flying because he's like, oh, he destroyed my Nebula message. Jeez. I think you know what you want. So yeah, he sends Quasar flying, and West Coast Avengers headquarters in California, Southern California.
Yeah, they're playing some cards. They get a message, an alert from Juan, and then he's trying to get in touch with the East Coast Avengers. They talk to Peggy Carter. They're in space, unable to be reached. The costume, the mask gets pulled down. Hawkeye, Avengers assemble, and then we're back in space.
But what was like back in the day? What's with like every superhero like playing poker?
I don't know.
There's no other crime on the West Coast. They're just so laid back out there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because like back, I mean, like 90% of the super villains were like in New York. So yeah, in the vacuum. So yeah, after that we go to space. We see the remains of Supernova's ship, and then you hear we're alive because of course the Invisible Woman has them all in an invisible force field.
Yeah, good thing she was on the team for those 4 issues, or they might have been toast.
Plot device. Yes. So they're like trying to figure out how they're going to get back to Earth, and coming up with this thing with you're going to get Thor outside the bubble.
Yeah, which looks like a Christmas ornament. How they get him outside there.
It does.
Yes. And we can see it, but that must be really weird, Kim, when you can't see.
Yeah.
That's true, because it's an invisible ball. Yeah.
It just looks like you're shooting through space.
Yeah.
But you can breathe. So yeah, so Thor's, I guess they're flying out of control. So Thor's idea to slow them down is to throw the hammer and keep getting it and having it come back to him and throw it and keep coming.
Yeah.
The boomerang method.
And he's trying to ease the stress on the Invisible Woman, who is, it's taking all her power just to maintain this bubble as they go through space.
Well, yeah, not only just space, but yeah, they were caught in that explosion too. So.
Oh right, no.
So yeah, back and forth the hammer. I guess they're Gilgamesh is like, I wish I could do something. So they're headed for Earth, but meanwhile, the West Coast Avengers have already shown up.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, who's that big purple guy? They're like, oh, there's a foul on a guy who wore a costume like that. He was a normal sized guy, but he was a superhero called Nova.
He even had his own book for a while.
That's exactly.
I like that.
That's what the editor's note says. Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the cops on the ground think how they're gonna stop Supernova. So of course,
Wonder Man gets a nice shot in.
Oh yeah. Send your super strong indestructible guy after the jaw.
Yeah. Get a big crack on the jaw. Yeah.
But then once again, another hero gets like thrown out of the battle for a while because he grabs Wonder Man and throws him into the street. He goes through the street.
Yeah. Ragdolls.
So the other three West Coast Avengers are like, okay, and now what?
And then we're back to the Avengers re-entering Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah, rapidly starting to burn up.
Yeah, okay, the heat of re-entry. But and now it's good that they have Fire Lord because he can take some of the heat.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know he was there in the last issue, but it's like they had made no mention. It might have shown him a little bit in the bubble, but no mention of him until hey, it's hot. Hey, we got Fire Lord.
Yeah,
yeah. He was unconscious for a while, but he got better.
Mm-hmm. Aren't you a Herald of Galactus? Can't you slow us down yourself?
Yeah, exactly. Can't you just do something?
So he's trying to absorb the flames, but then the pressure's too much, so Sue has to drop the bubble, and it's like everyone who can't fly, grab on to Mr. Fantastic.
Yep.
Old parachute maneuver.
Oh yeah. But Captain America gets, special treatment. Thor grabs him by the wrist and helps bring him down, Original Avengers stick together.
I guess so, yeah. There is a pecking order in the Avengers.
Don't want to get in the way of a man and his wife.
Yeah.
But I guess no. Hey, it wasn't just me. I think everyone else forgot Gilgamesh, so Fire Lord has to grab him. So they're like, hey, I guess they're right over California, so they're going to the West Coast Avengers headquarters.
Little do they know, they're not home.
Yes, because meanwhile, the rest of the West Coast team lands in the street and starts talking to General Accord. And he says, reports say this giant landed and began tearing up the city. Before your man showed up, another costume character engaged him in battle and was also KO'd.
And Hawkeye's like, well, what'd this other guy look like?
Yeah. Also, I've never seen I've only seen KO'd, thinking of knocked out, spelled the letter K-O apostrophe D.
Yeah.
But they spelled it K-A-Y-O-E-D. Oh, General Accord.
He's a general. He has to be fancy.
That's right.
So then Tigra says, hey, Hawkeye, we just caught on the radio. The East Coasters landed at our headquarters and commandeered a Quinjet. They're headed this way. And Hawkeye's like, great, we got to wrap this up before they get here. They're going to steal the show. So Hawkeye's like, Tiger, you and Hank cover me. I'm going to send up a flare arrow to get his attention. And she's like, then what? He's like, never question me. Never question me, woman. I know what I'm doing. And then Supernova's doing some weird origami with the elevated train tracks and bending it to say, bring me Nebula.
Yeah, well, when skywriting doesn't work, you go to the next method of transportation writing, train tracks.
Exactly. Rip them up and bend stuff. How does he even know English? The Nova Force, I guess? I don't know at this point.
I don't know, because don't the Nova Corps have that, like a computer or something in their helmets or whatever? I don't know if he has that, or maybe at least some kind of translation program or something.
They are humanoids, so I don't know.
Well, again, how's he speaking English? Because they understand them.
True.
But he's like, let's see Quasar destroy this message. And then, so of course, Supernova thinks Nebula's a member of the Avengers. So Hawkeye says, "This is Hawkeye. I'm leader of the Avengers." And of course, Supernova picks him up, and he's like, "How are you, the Avengers commander? When I encounter them on my ship."
No respect, West Coasters again.
Like, no, big guy, no. There's two teams.
Well, then Hawkeye does his typical fast talking to either make the situation better or worse.
Well, I think Hawkeye's thinking self-preservation right now because Supernova has him in his fist. All he has to do is squeeze. He's like, yeah, come on, guy, we'll locate Nebula. And then he says, we'll figure out which
shade.
And then he's like, we'll figure out which team she was on. I'm like, well, why is Supernova buying this? Because you're like, we'll figure out which team. If you're the leader of at least one team, wouldn't you know she wasn't on your team?
Process of elimination would tell you that. I love the way that he throws the little shade at the East Coast. He says, there are two teams, an uptight East Coast group and a bunch of freewheeling West Coast bunch of buddies.
That's right. We got to figure out what team she would have likely hitched up with. Okay, cool.
But but then Hawkeye, at the end, Hawkeye's thinking, oh, his eyes are narrowing, his grip's tightening. This wouldn't be a bad idea. Now he wants Cap and the others to show. He's like, I have no idea where Nebula is. I may have just bought the farm.
To be continued. Bum, bum, bum.
But there was a sweet little Back to the Future reference in there, too.
Yeah.
Yoo-hoo, McFly.
Well, yeah, this was when did Back to the Future 2 come out? Was it 89 or 90?
I think it was 89. I could be wrong. But...
So I was gonna say either came out or was about to come out, I think. So
yeah. How could you sell me a nebula with a blind spot, McFly?
Hey, you, get your damn hands off me. So yeah, next issue, I mean, we get East and West Coast Avengers, we get Quasar, even the rest of the Fantastic Four show up.
Yeah, Johnny Storm and the Thing. Now, at this point, Johnny Storm was he the leader of the Fantastic Four, or was it the Thing? And
that was the Thing.
Okay, it was the Thing. And who filled out the rest of the team? I'm a little foggy.
Ms. Marvel.
Oh, yes.
Was she called She-Thing at that point?
I don't know if she was. I've seen people call her She-Thing, but I think she was still going by Miss Marvel. Mm-hmm. And like before this, like Crystal, I think, was with them, but then she went back to the Inhumans. So for a couple issues, before Reed and Sue came back, because this was like right before Reed and Sue went back. It was like just the Torch and two things, and it's like, why are you calling yourself Fantastic Four?
Yeah, and it's odd because when I picked up some of these issues, I also grabbed a random Fantastic Four from the Infinity War, and when Thing fights his doppelganger, it just looks like Ms. Marvel or She-Thing. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Part in terms of publication, but kind of neat.
Yeah, I just reread Infinity War, so we'll get there too.
Yeah, Infinity War, Infinity Gauntlet. There's a whole lot of stuff to cover.
I mean, like I said, it was a really big list I came up with. Since I don't know if I should read it just so people.
Well, let's just talk about what the needs are, because I told you I went through it and I have a lot of them, but I still have a lot. I have 28, I think, that I need to scour around for. Yeah, I don't know if either of you bothered to keep track of which ones you may have had. I mean, some of them could be in boxes. You don't know.
Yeah.
Or remember you have it or not, but I mean, you got plenty of time to try to chip away at it.
Oh yeah, trust me, you got 100 some weeks. Yeah, we got time.
Yeah,
time. I was looking. That's why I was looking to see. I'm pretty sure. I think I have everything now except for that darn Marvel Comics Presents. It's eluded me for years. But yeah, because I bought the Infinity War trade paperback because I thought I had at least some of those, but I know I have Infinity Gauntlet. So yeah, we're gonna be getting.
Yeah, I got the Infinity War.
We're going to be doing some Avengers issues. We're going to be doing some 2-in-1 issues. Of course, we're doing Quasar issues.
And you're doing the big Capes and Lunatics roundtable about the movie that's coming out soon.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Or we're actually doing 2, yeah, because got a bunch of people interested. But, for Quantum Zone, I mean, we even like stray a little bit off of Quasar, even though he's kind of involved. When we get to Operation Galactic Storm, we'll do all 19 parts, people.
Yeah.
So be like Matt, get all parts of Operation Galactic Storm.
Yes,
I think I have both trades around here somewhere. I'll have to find those.
And listeners, can always.
And this is not technically canon, but I when I was at the local comic book shop, I found there's a 2-part what if the Avengers lost Operation Galactic Storm. Yeah.
It ends badly, like all the what ifs. It's basically every issue of what if is pretty much depressing because the world ends because they screwed up,
Yeah, right.
Darn it.
Yeah, good point. I love how much, and anyways, we'll get to it obviously later, but I love that Quasar has so many guest appearances by Watchers, and more than just, is it Owatu? The one that the what if host guy? But yeah.
Uatu?
Yeah.
I don't know how you pronounce his name.
Yeah. It's unpronounceable. It's Watcher language.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then there's Atmu, who I think was really we'll get to that, but he's the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, OHT. I think he's a stand-in for that. I think they named him after the official handbook of the Marvel Universe.
I like that.
But yeah.
But I think he gets punched. We'll get there though.
Oh yeah. All right. So anything
we're going
else?
part 3 next week. Part 3 concluding Supernova Saga.
Avengers 303. That's right.
Awesome.
So people read ahead. Send us your thoughts.
And it looks like it's still Ralph Macchio, Rich Buckler, and Tom Palmer. So yeah, it looks like it's pretty much the same team from this issue.
Yeah. So so if you want to read ahead, any of these, anytime we'll tell you what the next issue will be. Anytime you want to send us your thoughts, you can always email capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Our voicemail is 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. Facebook.com/QuantumZonePod, @QuantumZonePod, and @CL Sidekicks on Twitter. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I don't think so. All right. So, Will, where can people ask you Quasar questions?
Well, they can always go to the Quantum Zone, which is the site that I've run for quantumzone.org, full of lots of Quasar minutia and geekery. And then I'm wallred at gmail.com. That's WALLRED at gmail.com. You can also find me on Twitter. I'm wallred there. And then diaryofnight.com is my self-published book. So you can always find me there too.
Nice.
Now, Will, are those all published? Are you shipping out? I mean, is it just, did you cover the Kickstarter people? Do you have copies available after that?
We've actually just paid the printer, so it's going to be probably 8 to 11 weeks until the books get here from China. So the trades and the hardcovers are coming soon, and then I'll do fulfillment. So yeah, looking forward to that.
I told you, let me know when it releases. We'll do a Capes and Lunatics review of it.
Awesome, thanks.
Yeah, you can ship one to Phil in Connecticut.
Oh man.
Yeah, you can find me. I'm all just at Matt Kona, MATTKONA. Not much to promote aside from that, but you can get in touch with me. We can talk Quasar, look at my pictures on Instagram and things like that. But yeah, I'll be eagerly reading ahead and looking forward to talking to you gentlemen next week.
Me too.
Me three. All right, everyone. Join us next week for basically everyone in the kitchen sink, Avengers 303. So yeah, join us then. And then try to give people a little heads up. So Avengers 303 next week, and then the week after, Marvel Comics Presents 29, if I ever get it. I will find it.
That's with Spider-Man? Is that the one? Or is that... What's the cover of that one? Oh.
Isn't Havoc on the cover of that? Yeah.
Havoc's on the cover.
Oh, okay. All right.
I guess there's a Havoc story in there also. I don't know. I don't have it. There it is.
That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
X-Men
That's the
and
great thing
Havoc.
about Marvel Comics Presents. It had these wraparound covers, for like the first 100 issues, a bunch of them. They were just always a wraparound cover, which was awesome.
All right, everyone. Join us next time. Avengers 303. Remember, Quantum Zoners. Keep it quantum.